All right, welcome everybody. It is Kanye Twitty, the AEW review. I got my boy.
You got a mean lion in the building.
Yeah, Namin, we do an AEW review now.
I mean, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Shout out to Mimi Burris. We just throwing a celebrity shot, stepping in. And since it has taken so long, we're not even going to do all the normal intro promos and all that. People have been waiting. I know you have. So we're going to jump right into it. This is the AEW Week in Review. We're going to start with Dynamite. And, Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match. Jeff Hardy, Bobby Fish. I know that we both agree on something on the end, but what did you think of the match?
I thought the match was good. I mean, both Jeff and Bobby, they're great at what they do, so they always look good. Jeff gets the win, obviously.
Jeff got the win by the Swanton Bomb.
Yeah, there was a couple of different high-flying moves from Jeff, which, everybody knows he's known for, but he's got to do better.
Right. And that's really what I'm saying too. I mean, would you agree that Swanton Bomb looked like it hurt?
It looked like it hurt, and it's not the first time. This is the second or third time now that we've seen him do this move and just not hit it just right. So,
right. And I will say this, as much as I wanted Bobby Fish to win, because I'm a big undisputed elite, undisputed era, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Undisputed elite, they already have a couple people in the tournament, and in my mind, Jeff Hardy needs to be in it. He wrestled with Owen.
Yes, exactly. It's a perfect spot for him. So yeah, I'm glad to see. And then you have the Young Bucks come out afterwards, and I feel like a lot of people have been talking about the Hardys versus the Young Bucks. So we'll see if that happens. But it almost kind of got cringy.
That'll happen at Double or Nothing. You think? Double or Nothing probably sounds good.
It could, yeah. It almost got a little cringy there at the end. I feel like the Young Bucks kind of acted a little bit weird right at the end there. What do you think?
Oh, you know what? I have to say I noticed that too, and that's why I felt like it had something to do with the. I'm not going to call it a botch. I'm just going to say it wasn't perfect. It was the Swanton Bomb. I mean, it looked like Bobby Fish. It knocked the wind out of him. It looked like they were concerned to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah. So we got Jeff Hardy. He wins. We move on. Young Bucks. We get the setup for the Young Bucks versus obviously the Hardys, and I'm pretty sure that's happening at Double or Nothing. But right after that, we got a video promo, and I'm gonna let you take on this.
Yeah. I mean, you got Regal doing the BCC promo. It's clips of them in their gym, just going at it, and he's basically saying that they want to leave scars so that the people they fight remember them, and it was right out of a page of Regal's book. It sounded amazing. Every time Regal gets on the mic, it just sounds really good. So I'm excited to if you guys watch our other podcast, you already know I'm a diehard fan of the BCC, and I think everything they're doing right now is amazing. So I just want to see more of it. And
right,
Regal,
I don't even see him as a babyface or a heel. They just come in and beat people up.
Yeah, they're just the combat club who just shows people how it's done, and that's all that there is to it. I mean, they put on clips left and right. So,
and then then we get into the match.
Yeah,
AFO. And I have to say, between the match, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. What we just explained, like they really just beat him up. But something I pulled out of it was Angelico. Maybe I've seen him before, maybe I missed or something, but that was my first time actually noticing him, and I thought he was pretty good.
That was my first introduction to him too. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look bad at all. He does a lot of those spots for the audience, so that he can try and get a big pop. So we'll see what comes.
Yeah, ultimately, I mean, this match was really just to. I mean, you can't really get. I mean, we do. I need to see them fight against somebody now on their level.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, yeah,
I'm cool with the
another
squash
win for
matches.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, hey, after that, we got Jurassic Express. The whole challenge for with Team Taz.
Yeah.
Basically,
Finally, he's going to be defending that FTW title.
finally.
Finally. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that title's worth anything until it's on anybody else out of Team Taz.
Yeah, basically. So, if I wouldn't be surprised if Jungle Boy takes it off him. So we'll see what happens with that.
And I'm cool with it because I'd like the other part of the story to go. I'm cool with Team Taz taking the tag titles.
Yeah, if Ricky and Powerhouse were to take the titles off of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, I wouldn't be upset about it either. It seemed like at first it was an awesome placement with those titles, but I think it's gotten a little bit stale on them. So I wouldn't be upset to see it move around a little bit. And then
right, you got
if
Keith Lee, Swerve.
Yeah, exactly. That might be the perfect opportunity to set up that continue that tag rivalry and let the Limitless One, Keith Lee and Swerve, kind of battle for the title with them. And that was kind of where that promo went right into next was Keith Lee and Swerve calling out Ricky and Powerhouse, telling them that they've got unfinished business. And Keith Lee says, you will swerve in our glory. And I thought that was pretty clever.
If you know our word for that, fire. Absolute fire. And then we get to, after that, hey, you and me have watched wrestling for a while, so we actually had an idea when they teased it the prior week, 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. You had Morrissey and Wardlow, and I gotta say, like this was the highlight for me of the whole show, because not only did it just put Wardlow over the moon. His entrance is off the hook. The crowd is so over. It was amazing to me, just Wardlow's performance alone.
Well, it gives his entrance, if anybody's a long-term wrestling fan, they know who Goldberg is, and if you know who Goldberg is, then that's the exact vibe you get with Wardlow here. He comes out, security and all, handcuffed, can't do anything. So it's very Wardlow-esque, and I appreciate that.
What about after you saw the security, right? What about that little kid? Like, I was literally watching, I'm like, whose son is in the front of that security team? Whose little boy is that?
It's funny because the security team every week is every one of them. It seems like there's some 20-something kid who would have no chance in the world versus Wardlow, even trying to hold him back. So it gets a little bit funny, but they that's why they put so many men on him, because Wardlow's just an animal.
And then the 30, 35 security that came in. I mean, usually I'm not with that, like just sending a bunch of people at somebody and they just keep taking them out. But this time, I almost wanted more people to come out, because Wardlow put down 30 people at one time.
Well, and that's after putting down Morrissey. Like Morrissey's not a small dude.
No, he's 7 feet tall. You can't teach that.
And I think the booking between the two of them was one of the best that Wardlow's had so far.
Yes.
It looked really good. It looks good for Wardlow to get a win against a guy like Morrissey, somebody who's on his level, and then to take down that many security guards afterwards, they come in and try and put his handcuffs on. He didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so, and I'm glad with that, because that was perfect timing again for me. Like, I'm done with them putting him. I mean, how many times is he going to come out there and let them put cuffs on him? You know what I'm saying? And one of the last thing I do want to say before we touch on the MJF part of this is, I am glad that not only did Morrissey have a good match with him, that I'm actually glad that they didn't make Morrissey take a symphony.
Yeah, no, he just took the one and done.
Yep, and that
I
was
was happy.
good. That was good.
I was happy to see it too because I'm hoping that with this introduction of Morrissey, you never know, but maybe we'll get to see Enzo, and maybe that we'll get to see more of Enzo and Morrissey together. Big cast. That was a big tag team back in the day, so I'll be excited if we can see more of them. So
Yeah,
it didn't make sense to bury Morrissey here, so I like that
right.
as well.
Right. And then hey, after that, obviously, we're to the point where hey, MJF has done everything he can. He's thrown everyone at him, but we finally get the match. And not next week, this week, the week we're on now, literally, Dynamite is in MJF's hometown, and that is beautiful, coincidental booking. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not getting booed in Long Island.
Oh, MJF is going to get the biggest pop he'll ever get, and
that would be hard to be in that crowd. You want to cheer for them both.
Yeah, because Wardlow's so over right now. Everyone wants to cheer him, even if you're an MJF fan. You still want Wardlow to succeed here. So
right, but I don't think Wardlow gets that treatment in Long Island. I don't think so.
I don't think so either, and that's why I think that's why this is just going to be a contract signing and not an actual match because the match
it is just a contract signing.
The match needs to be on neutral ground, So
And what stipulations does he come up with? What kind of match is it?
For all we know, this is just going to be another scenario of MJF just burying Wardlow, which it's good. It's good storytelling, but something needs to come of it. So
right, we'll they're at that point where they need to turn that corner because you can't get more over than he is right now. You cannot get more over than Wardlow is right now. Let's see what we have after that. We had let's see. Was it Tony Storm, Ruby Soho, and Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter? Getting ready for their tag team match that was going to come up on the Rampage. I'm cool with that.
The call out setup between the two of them.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry. They've been teasing it for a while that this the four of them have been beefing. So
right.
I just anytime Ruby's in a promo with Britt Baker, anytime anyone's in a promo with Britt Baker, it's kind of one-sided,
It is because Britt Baker is, in my mind, one of the best speakers, when it comes to the girls on the mic, hands down.
Especially in AEW. Yeah, there's not really anybody that is even on her level when it comes to promo work. So
yeah, and then right after that, we got into a part I liked. Hangman Adam Page.
Oh man,
I'm out on him. I've been out on him a while.
One of the best promos, yeah. And you were saying that he's might be going over for you, right?
Yeah. Well, I say straight up is if a heel version of Hangman, I'm in. And he when he told the kid with the CM Punk shirt on that he was going to have to burn it, and kind of went at the crowd a little bit. I was like, oh, okay. I've been booing this man for weeks and weeks, and for the first time, my ears poked up, and I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, I'm in.
This is an Adam Page I can get behind too. I've always been on the fence with him. I've been definitely more over than you, but I'm excited to see this heel turn, and it makes sense because you don't ever really want face versus face, especially in a main event, main title match. It's just not the greatest booking. The crowd doesn't know who to get behind, and so you got to
now we can pick a side.
And it's perfect timing for Adam to turn heel. CM Punk still he's not quite in the honeymoon phase anymore, but he's at that point where the crowd still loves to cheer him when he comes out no matter what. So I think it's perfect booking for them. So
yep. Let's see. What do we have after that? We had a
quick little call out from Jay Lethal.
Yeah,
calling out to. We're seeing a lot of these Japanese wrestlers, and I think it's all perfect timing and setting up for this forbidden door that we know is coming very soon. You know, it's going to be hard to have any investment in it for the people who don't know a lot about New Japan and their wrestlers. Right. We need a little bit of introduction before, so that we can have a little bit more investment and not just all one-sided, you know. So I like this. I like what AEW is doing, getting them out there, getting them some screen time, so we can know who the big players are. And from what I mean, Takeshita's he's done some work here and there for AEW in the past. So I'm excited to see him. You know, he looks like he's going to be a good player. So.
Yeah. You know, I'm excited. You know, these are new to me too. You know, so I agree with you completely. Then you know, obviously you had Santana, Chris Jericho.
I mean, yeah, Jericho, the JS, they've just been battling with Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz, and it's just funny to see these two going at it again. You know what? Again.
I think that's why I'm a little bored with it. It's because it's been going for a
bit too. I get it that, you know, Eddie Kingston got the fireball thrown in his face, so he's MIA. You know, he's not there. But I'm definitely with you on that. I think it's getting a little stale, so we need to see it come to a head. You know, Jericho gets the win, but with a low blow. You know, and then the JAS just kind of stomps out Santana and Ortiz. I mean, without Eddie there, it's 2-on-5, you know. So
it's the same thing we see every week.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm excited for it to come to a head and see what happens between Jericho and Eddie finally.
Yeah. You know, I'm really excited for the whole concept of Samoa Joe going after Jay Lethal as well. I think that is Ring of Honor all over it. I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's been long-term storytelling with that. I mean, these guys have had a feud for years and years. So I feel like it's one of those. If you don't follow through with this storyline, then you're just not doing it right, you know. So it's cool to see that they're actually following through.
Yep. What do you think about the Gun Club with their gifts, quote unquote, for the Acclaimed?
The Acclaimed seem to love it, especially Anthony Bones. He loved the scissor gift. He said it was the key to his heart. And and then you have Big Billy Gunn in the back saying, you know, we're here to team up basically, and he puts out his fingers to scissor with the Acclaimed, and they go for it. So it'll be a cool team up, I think.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. You know, I haven't really been all in on the Gun Club, but I think them with the Acclaimed ought to be a lot of fun. The next part, go ahead.
No, I think so as well. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
Yeah. You know, and then you know, after that, you know, I mean, you know, yeah, there was kind of a match going on, but it really kind of boiled down. You know, you had the Varsity Blondes and the House of Black. Yeah. And you know, really, what happened in the match really wasn't important. What was important
wasn't much of a match, really. It was more just a call out, honestly. Brian Pillman cut one of the best promos. Brian Pillman Jr. He cut one of the best promos I've heard him cut yet. You know,
he's talking about the only good promo I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's from the Varsity Blondes in general, and from Brian Pillman Jr. I mean, using John Harbaugh's quote of, you know, attack each day with enthusiasm unknown to mankind, and then he just kind of gets all super hyped up for, you know, enthusiastically calling out the House of Black. And sure enough, the second he does it, here comes House of Black. There they are. And it doesn't take much for them to just kind of mop the floor with Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. And you got
absolutely mopped them.
Just mop the floor. Yeah. You got Julia Hart just kind of cowering down in the corner, and that's when And that's when they basically try and finally, this long-term storytelling we've had for weeks and weeks and weeks of Julia just kind of sitting off to the side with her, the poison in her eye kind of corrupting her.
Just like Malachi Black had when he came into AEW, same thing.
So it's basically him trying to turn her. And, I think myself and you, and I think everyone else really included, thought that this was going to be the moment, of her finally, they handed her that chair, told her to swing on Brian, and she just kind of hesitated.
Yeah. And as much as I wanted her to do it, I see what they did there. We thought we were going to get it.
And we kind of got this. It was almost a cringy moment, but I think that's kind of what they were. I think that's kind of what they were going for, because it also gave them the opportunity in that moment when she didn't turn. That's when you have Rey Fenix, Penta Oscuro, and Pac come out to kind of save the day and run off House of Black, So that's kind of rekindling the fire to that that feud. Right before Fenix broke his arm or got his elbow dislocated. They kind of have that little feud going on. So I'm not upset about it. Honestly, I kind of am happy to see that they just letting, Rey and Penta get back into their feud that they had beforehand. So I think it's a good segue for them.
Yep. And, and it went right into, for a 9-minute match, Dante Martin, Rey Fenix, they put on a show.
It was a classic sky high, everything you expect to see from both Dante and Rey. Dante's one of those guys that, doesn't get the credit I think he quite deserves. Especially we got to see his brother come back for a little while. Shout out to him as well. Darius, I think his name is Darius Martin. Yeah,
Darius Martin. He's out again.
Out again. Got in that car accident. So shout out to him. Hopefully he heals up pretty well. But it's just kind of one step back here and there for Dante. So I think he in the ring he's great. He has those high flying moves, and him and Fenix together kind of put on one of those, acrobatic shows in the ring that you don't get to see very often that I think we all love. So it was an exciting match.
Yeah, and that basically sets us up with our brackets. You got Rey Fenix and Kyle O'Reilly. You got Samoa Joe versus the Joker, and we'll get to that later. Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin, and then you got Adam Cole and Dax Harwood. Do you have a guess? Just knee-jerk guess for who that Joker could be?
There's been all kinds of talks that I've heard. I think you and me even may have talked about it briefly. I talked about it with my brother too. But I've been hearing talks of Cesaro showing up in AEW. And I wouldn't be mad about it, but
I'm with it. I want the Swiss Cyborg back.
I would be cool with it, but I also think I was thinking, there's a number of other people that it could be as well. So,
for all we know, it could be Morrissey.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have to wait to see.
I think the fact that the Joker is versus Samoa is kind of a hint towards it's going to be someone of a little bit of a bigger stature, or maybe somebody from Ring of Honor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. We got John Silver next week. We got John Silver and CM Punk.
Yeah, I liked his little promo. He's a Long Island homeboy too, so that'll be a fun match for John Silver. We don't get to see a lot of him. The Dark Order's got so many people that they just kind of bounce around. But I'm happy to see he's on the card because I like John Silver, so it should be a good match.
I'm a big fan. One thing we skipped over that's really just it's worth skipping over is obviously Jade Cargill's still dominating. They haven't put anybody in front of her yet, so
yeah, she's 30-0 right now with nobody in sight that's even gonna have a chance against her. Yeah, nobody. Nope. So,
and then that takes us to our main event.
Yes.
For Dynamite, Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Martinez. We had a good solid match between the two. The crowd was really quiet though. I felt like they weren't invested. Because these are two Ring of Honor basically, fighting for the undisputed title.
For the unification of it, because Mercedes was the interim champ.
Yeah.
Deonna was the form or the actual champion, so they had to unify this title, and I think it was cool that they did it in Baltimore. But that's why I was a little bit surprised, just like you, that the crowd was so checked out, because Ring of Honor's Baltimore mainstay, so that's where it started out. So I don't know, but
a lot of people gave this match an average grade, and I have to kind of agree with that. But this was my first. I see more of Deonna.
I do too. Undecided. Yes. I think Deonna. They both look good. This is my first introduction to Deonna personally, so I thought she did really well. I like her. She's got a little bit of an attitude going on. I like that. And ultimately, Mercedes ended up getting the win for that one, so she's now the full Ring of Honor Women's Champ.
Yep. And hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe she'll drop that at Forbidden Door. Who knows? Who knows? But that takes us, right up into. We're gonna get right up into it because we want to make sure these people get this review. Let's go straight over to Rampage. Kick off. You got Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm, Ruby Soho. It was anything with Britt Baker. I'm happy with. But this match really broke down. It was really, really quick. It was only an 8-minute match, and it basically ended with Baker super kicking Ruby Soho, but then Toni Storm got the roll up on Britt Baker.
Real quick, it was there. Like you said, it broke down pretty quick, man. There's a couple of rough spots in there that I was just, there was one point in time where Tony picked up Jamie Hayter and was gonna power bomb her on top of Britt Baker, or vice versa. I think Jamie Hayter was on the mat and she picked up Britt and was gonna power bomb Britt Baker on top of Jamie Hayter, and just kind of, it almost felt like they had to tell her, no, the hard camera's on the other side, sweetheart. Tony's got a little bit of rust still, I think. So
absolutely,
he was out for a little bit, but a couple other little missteps here and there. It wasn't a terrible match though. I would give it an average grade as well, considering the people that were in the ring. I think it should have been a little bit better, but it's leading up to that their rivalry and stuff. So I'm cool with it.
At least they were able to show off a bunch of the girls in the Owen Hart tournament in one match, But right after that, though, we got one of my favorite promos of the year with Eddie Kingston calling in on his phone to Chris Jericho while he's at the announce booth.
I enjoyed it as well.
That was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It's pretty unique as well. You don't really ever see a promo cut like that on the phone. We know, like I said before, that Eddie Kingston's, MIA, or he's out because of that fireball, So the promo was beautiful, and Eddie Kingston just being his Jericho being his antagonistic self, just laughing at Eddie Kingston's pain. I love it. So. But
have the match. I'm ready for it now. Like, can we get it for real?
100%. That's perfect setup. I'm ready for it too.
Yep. And then after that, we had the whole Hook versus JD Drake, but just like any other Hook match, that wasn't what was important. What was important was the fact that Tony Nese is calling out Danhausen next week in Long Island, because that's where Nese is from. I don't care about Tony Nese. I care about seeing Danhausen in the ring, so I'm excited about that. But obviously, Tony Nese has Mark Sterling to watch his back. So after Hook's match with JD Drake, normal Hook match, I think it was 1 minute and 22 seconds long.
Yeah, right.
Puts him down.
We give real quick too. We just give a shout out to JD Drake for just being the ultimate jobber since he's gotten here. I mean, he was 0-4 when he started this match, ended 0-5. Everybody he's fought has kind of been somebody that they're just pushing really hard in AEW. So he hasn't really stood a chance. So shout out to him for doing his job.
Shout out to Jobber Drake. We'll call him Jobber Drake.
Jobber Drake, I like it. And,
but what's cool about that is it happened to be Hook's birthday, and so Danhausen comes on out and asks him to be in his corner. Hook shoves him down, but as he shoves him down, Danhausen, man, he makes you really feel for him. He got knocked down, but he dropped a bag of chips with a bow on it for Hook. I love the way that Hook sold the emotion of feeling a little bad, but he's still Hook. I mean, he's supposed to be, that hard dude, and he ends up leaving with the chips there. I thought that was a great storytelling. I think no matter what, I think Danhausen's going to be getting whooped on next week, and I honestly feel that in the end, Hook's going to come on down, and I think we finally will get Hookhausen.
I think ultimately that's the push we're getting. Like you said, the emotion we saw coming from Hook, still being the rough around the edges guy, but showing the tiniest little bit of regret that, Hook or Dan brought him the present and he still pushed him down anyways. I think we will see Hook show up ringside for Danhausen when he's there. I think it's a good setup for their tag team. I'm excited.
Right. And then, after that, we had I had a match with Yuka, Sakazaki, and Riho. And I got to say, that match blew me away. It was
impressive.
Wow.
I think go ahead.
Even the ratings online, they gave this the match of the night. And I have to kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. I liked it a lot. Riho, another one who I think because of her stature and, I think she doesn't quite get the credit she deserves as well, because when she's in the ring, man, she's all over the place. She's so small. She's quick. She just runs around, does these spots, looks good. She's high flying.
Kicks are insane.
Yeah. And Sakazaki, she looked really good too, I don't know, I'm not positive on this one, but it looked to me as though they've got some chemistry, like they've worked together before. So
I felt like they had some background there, and it was good having Rio win, because I mean that obviously set up our women's side, which has Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Britt Baker takes on the Joker, and I have no idea who the girl Joker could possibly be, to be honest. And then you got Rio versus Ruby Soho. Say that 3 times fast. And then Red Velvet versus Hikaru Shida. So, I mean, the women's bracket, it looks filthy as well.
It does look really good. You don't have any guesses as to who that Joker might be?
I really don't. Not with the women. I really, really don't. I tried thinking about it, but I don't have anybody.
I'm thinking. I have one guess that I think it might be, and I think they might throw Deonna Purrazzo in there. I think she might be.
Good.
I think she might be a good matchup for Britt. And,
oh my God, that's a match right there.
Right, and I think that maybe that's why they took the ROH title off of her, so that she can get a run here and prove herself against these other girls. So that's my guess.
That'd be a nice feud. Britt Baker needs women to fight with, and I think Deonna Purrazzo is perfect. That's perfect.
I do too. So,
yeah. Quick hits. You had Sean Spears, cutting a promo with his giant killer chair. I don't always like his promos, but I really liked this one. I I mean, it was really quick, but it just adds to the story of MJF. The MJF is the center of that whole story, but he's putting over other people with it. So, I'm okay with the whole Wardlow, MJF, Shawn Spears. I'm okay with all of it at this point.
I am as well.
Yeah. After that, we got Dan Lambert, Man of the Year, and he went out there and talked. Went on his normal rant, but to be honest with you, I'm really out on the not out on Lambert. I'm just out on Guevara and Ty Conti. I'm just out.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what this whole promo was about. I mean, Ethan Page basically called out Sammy and said, I don't even want to be in the ring with you guys if you guys are going to do that stuff. He said if you're not a man of your word, I'm not going to be either. And he called off their mixed tag team match, so we won't be seeing that tag team match anymore. But that led up to Frankie Kazarian coming out, and if you've watched AEW for a while, then Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky used to be a tag team together,
and he promised him a first shot.
Yeah, he's basically been calling out Scorpio for a while, basically saying, once you get that title, let me get that first shot. And that was the call out. And, Scorpio Sky, he was a man of his word and said, I told you I'd give you the first shot, so it's going to happen. So I think they said that match is going to happen at Double or Nothing.
Right.
So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see Frankie. I've not really seen much of him, so I'm excited to see what he can do and maybe bring a little bit of spice to this whole Men of the Year kind of mix up that we've had going on.
Right. That for me, it's just good. It's just good. I mean, just what AEW is good at is the long-term storytelling. And sometimes, you might think that it gets a little convoluted, but, I think they're doing a really good job, and they're really setting up for, their next pay-per-view also with Forbidden Door coming up. So I think they're doing a really good job. And I'm with you. I want to see Kazarian. I haven't seen him wrestle. I'll be honest, I haven't seen him wrestle, and I want to really, really bad. And then that gets us up to the final, the finale. You got, I don't know, I don't want to butcher the name. You know what I'm saying? Konosuke Takeshita? That close?
Takeshita.
What? Takeshita. Okay, cool. Him, Jay Lethal. That was fun. Now I'll let you go ahead and just give your match.
If it wasn't for the that women's match versus Sakazaki and Riho, this would have been my number one match of the night. I mean, and as it should, Jay Lethal, he's renowned. Everyone knows that he's been in the industry for years. He does amazing work in the ring, as well as does Takeshita. I mean, this was a really good back and forth. They both looked great. And
the fact that he lost by distraction, saved him.
Yep.
You
got, obviously, it felt as though Takeshita should have got the win. Jay Lethal's he's on this heelish run, which I'm not mad about, because when he first came in, he was too babyface, and it just kind of didn't fit well with him. So I like what he's doing. However, I'm not all in on Sanja and Satnam Singh. Satnam's a big beast. He's a big dude, and as far as giants go, and giants in the industry right now, I think he looks the best of most of them. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll agree with you there.
I'm not all in on it, so I want to see more from them. And then once Lethal got the win, they kind of came in the ring and started beating up Takeshita, which I'm not sure, is not really necessary, but it sets up for the best friends coming out.
Right. And Samoa with Joe, they didn't let him up. It didn't let him to the ring, but hey.
Yeah, they kind of distract him to get Takeshita out there, and Satnam even goes beast mode on both the best friends. He doesn't look sloppy, like it just kind of
other people in other promotions. You know?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't. He looks like he's got some mobility to him, which I'm excited to see for what the industry calls a giant in the ring. So which, I mean, granted, he is. The man's 7'4", like
ridiculous,
300 something pounds. So I mean, he's a beast. So and then you got Orange Cassidy kind of taunting him, which I think is funny. And then that sets up for him calling Samoa Joe to the ring, and they won't even let Samoa Joe come close, because I know Samoa Joe is one of those guys that it don't matter who you put him in the ring with, the man's gonna do work. So
yeah, he fights. He beats people.
Yeah, he fights. Yeah, and
so I mean, overall, what would you give a grade for? Let's go with Dynamite first, real quick on our way out. Give me a overall grade for Dynamite.
Dynamite. I would give it I would say it's around a B.
Yeah, I would say B-. I was in that range.
Yeah, B-. Yeah.
What about Rampage?
Rampage, I would give it about the same grade as well. I mean, like we've said many times before, Rampage, an hour-long show, there's not a whole lot that.
But it's so good. I love the hour show.
I do too. Because it's just so quick. They don't ever give you too much filler. It's just a couple promos here, bunch of matches, and then you're kind of out. And I loved, my favorite part of Rampage was the last words said of the episode before they cut was Jericho from the announce table says, "Stay home, Eddie Kingston," and then they just cut. And that's just cherry on the cake for Jericho's antagonizing Eddie Kingston. I don't even know if that was scripted, if he just
it felt off the cuff. I heard that too.
Something that Jericho loves to do is just improvise, and I loved it. So, like I said, I give both episodes a solid B.
Yep, I'm with that too. And hey, we should get a lot next week. As we build up to the pay-per-view, we build up to Forbidden Door. I'm really excited for next week.
Got a lot to come, so I'm excited as well.
Right. So, hey, I think we got it all. I'm gonna get this to the editing room. Right. Get it chopped up, because we're going to be back. We're going to start doing this every week. We're going to get the AEW review out by Saturday, so that way, everybody
get it out on time every week now. So
yeah, I mean, this was different. I had to move. Some of the other people in Discord know I moved all the way across the state over the weekend, and so it took a while to get all my stuff out and get the internet and all that stuff. But we good now. We got the Skype now, so I think we're gonna be all right.
I think so too. And you guys know me. I love the fans and the interaction. So, and this show, if you listen to our other podcasts, this is a world different than what we kind of cover and do on our other show. So let me know. Let me and Kanye know what you think. Give us some pointers. Give us some feedback.
Right. And they can do that.
Hopefully, we can do this AEW review some justice and
make Mimi proud.
Yeah, that's basically, yeah. Let's hopefully we can make Mimi proud by the end of this. So let us know what you think, guys.
Yep, and if you want to let us know, it's very simple. You can go to Twitter at WTFW Trash. That is our Twitter. We also do the other show, the WTFW podcast. We basically cover AEW, we cover WWE, we cover any wrestling, any promotion, and we do it in our own unique way. And it's all right here on the WWE podcast. So, hey, I ain't got nothing else. My name's Kanye Twitty. How about you?
I ain't got nothing else either. I'm your boy, the Mean Lion.
So we're going to drop it, and we're going to lock it, and we will see y'all next week.
Later, guys.
Later.